Amazing. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another live community classroom with Michaels. We have our friend Edie Eckman with us today to make these adorable crochet hearts just in time for Valentine's Day. My name is Renee L. from Yarn Inspirations, and I'll be helping with any questions you might have during today's class. Please feel free to drop your questions in the chat and we'll make sure that Edie answers them. While we're getting ready to kick things off, as Felicia mentioned earlier, let us know where you're watching from or let us know what you plan to use your hearts for. Over to you, Edie.
Okay, hi everybody, and happy almost Valentine's Day. I don't know if you can tell, I'm wearing a shirt that has tiny little hearts on it, but they're too small for you to see. They look like polka dots. But I wore my heart shirt today because we're making these adorable, tiny little hearts. This is actually bigger than the one that you see the pattern for. I used a larger hook. So I am going to be doing several of these over the next little while. I'll be showing you fairly quickly the first one. So if you are a beginner, excuse me, you aren't going to be able to keep up with me, at least on the first one, because I just want to zip through it and show you the overall thing. Then I'll do a second one and I'll slow down a little bit. Again, remember, you can go back and watch the video as many times as you need to. Also, if you print out the pattern or have it on your iPad or whatever, realize that there are pictures for every step of the way. So this is meant to be a super easy project. It's just not always possible for you to keep up with me stitch for stitch in real time, but you have every opportunity to go back and do that. Let me switch cameras here so that you can see. I'm using Red Heart Super Saver in color Cherry Red. It's a nice big ball of red yarn. I don't know how many hearts you could make with this ball, but it would be a lot. And so I'm going to move that off camera here. You can see I've made a couple already. I made one using some light purple yarn. I don't even know what the yarn was. And here's another one. So let's get right into it. I'm using a size I hook, which is a 5.5 millimeter. That is what is called for in the pattern, but I'm also going to show you other size hooks in a few minutes when we get to that point. So it tells us to make a slip knot and put it on the hook. So making a slip knot, I am going to leave about a 4 or 5 inch tail here. I want to leave that tail because I'm going to be using that later, and I'll show you why. Then chain 3. So I'm just going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and join with a slip stitch in the first chain to form a ring. Now, usually when you're doing this, you do at least 4 chains. This is going to make a teeny tiny little ring. I'm going back here to the very first chain, putting my hook in, doing a yarn over, and pulling it through everything. And that to me looks just like a mess. But if I open this up a little bit and stick my pinky in there, I can see that I have formed a little ring. There, I put my index finger in. So I am going to be working into that ring, not into the center, or not into each individual chain. I'm trying to work into the actual ring right there in the center. And you may have to open up that circle a little bit to find that. Put my hook back in here. I'm going to show you some variations on ways to start the next few times I go around. So then chain 3, this is round 1, work 2 double crochets in the ring. So I'm going to be, again, trying to find that ring right there and put 2 double crochets right there in that hole that I created. Here's 1, 2, then 3 half double crochets also in the ring. I'm going to come back and talk more about double crochets and half double crochets. So if you're a beginner, just hang with me and we'll talk about them a little more deeply in just a minute. So what I'm doing here is making the first part of my heart. I started with double crochets, then half double crochets. Then I'm going to put a double crochet, which is going to be the bottom of the heart, the pointy part of the heart. Then I'm going to start working back up the other side. And at this point, I'm going to have to scooch these stitches around because I'm putting a lot of stitches in that chain 3 ring. Here I'm doing three more half doubles. 2, 3. Again, I'm running out of space. I'm going to have to scrunch these around really hard. 2 more doubles in that ring. 1, 2. Whoops. I put on lotion just before class started. My hands are kind of slippery. And you can see my heart forming here. Then I end with 3 chains and slip stitch into the ring. So that brings that right back down here to the center. That's all there is to it. I'm going to cut the yarn, leaving a nice long tail, and pull that tail through to fasten off. And there is my little heart. Now, the pattern tells me to tie the ends. So to tie the ends together, you can see I did that on this one, and just cut them. So I could do that. Just tie a little square knot. But I may not want to cut it, because if I'm going to be tying this to something or putting it on a present or something, I probably want these yarn tails. And notice I probably could have left an even longer tail depending on what I want to tie it to. So I kind of like the idea of leaving them like this to tie onto a package, or make a bracelet or something like that. So do what you want. You can either cut the yarn tails and weave them in. I'll do that on another one, or you can leave them long so you can tie them to something. All right, let me do another heart. This time I'm going to go a little bit more slowly. And just for fun and to give you a little contrast between my red hook and my red yarn, I'm going to go up a hook size. So that was an I. I'm going to use a J hook and see what happens. So let me go back, move this aside. Again, I'm going to leave this time maybe I'll leave a 6-inch tail just to see. I'm going to put a slip knot on the hook. If you don't know how to do a slip knot, I'm sure that Renee is going to put something in the chat that shows you how to do a slip knot. I'm sure that there's a video on how to do that. Then I'm going to set up and do my chain. I like to teach beginners to hold the yarn in their left hand or in their non-dominant hand. So if you're left-handed, you're going to hold it this way. And I'm right-handed, so I'm holding the yarn in my non-dominant hand, weaving it through my fingers, whatever way is comfortable. So some people like to do it this way, but the main thing is I want the yarn coming over my forefinger, my index finger, from back to front like this. And then I'm going to control what's coming off my hook with my thumb and my middle finger. And now my right hand, my dominant hand, is free to drive this hook however I want. So to do a chain, I'll push back to make a yarn over and pull it through. That's 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go ahead and make it 4, even though the pattern says 3, just because I want to see what happens. You can make it 3 or you can make it 4. Then go all the way back here. 1, 2, 3. There's my 4th chain. I'm going to put my hook right into the center of that chain, yarn over, and pull a loop through everything. That's my slip stitch. And now you can see that I have that ring that my finger's sticking through. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Then put 2 double crochets into that ring. So I'm making sure that I know right there where that hole is. I'm also going to work over this yarn tail for now. You don't have to do that if you're not used to doing double crochets. Don't worry about the yarn tail, but if you're familiar with it, it's nice to catch that yarn tail under there. All right, for a double crochet, yarn over, insert the hook into that ring right there in the middle, that hole, yarn over and pull up a loop, then yarn over pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Let me do that again for my second double crochet. Yarn over, insert my hook into the ring, yarn over, and pull up a loop. I caught my yarn tail. I don't want to do that. Let's try it again. Yarn over, go in, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And I bet Renee has a link for how to do double crochet. Renee, if you don't have that, I've got one on my YouTube channel as well.
Perfect.
So there's my chain. Do you have it?
I do, yeah, we're good.
Okay. So there are my 2 double crochets. Now I'm going to put 3 half double crochets. Half double crochet starts with a yarn over, just like our double crochet did. Go in, yarn over, pull up a loop. But this time we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. That's a half double crochet. It's a little shorter than your double crochet. 2 more of those. Yarn over, go into the ring, yarn over and pull up a loop, then yarn over, pull through all 3. Got 1 more. Yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3. So far we've done our chain 3, our 2 doubles, and our 3 half doubles. I'm going to scooch these around. I'm going to hold on to the ring and pull those stitches back so they're next to each other. The next thing is a double crochet. Yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. Note the difference between a half double and a double. The half double, you're pulling through 3 loops. The double crochet, you're just pulling through 2. Now my pattern tells me to do 3 more half doubles. So yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through all 3. That's 1, 2. Need to grab some more yarn here. 3. And I'm really running out of space in my ring. I have to scrunch these back. 2 more doubles. And then end with a chain 3. 1, 2, 3, which brings it right back down. Put a slip stitch in the ring. So all the stitches are going into that center ring. Yarn over and pull it through everything. Cut my yarn and pull that yarn tail through to fasten off. I want to make sure I'm pulling the right yarn tail. And if I need to, I can scrunch these. Scrunch, is that a word? I can move these around a little bit. Now notice there's another little heart. This is the heart I just made. Notice the difference in size. That's for 2 reasons. One is I used a larger beginning circle. I had 1 more chain here, but I also used a different hook size. And that different hook size is going to give you a different size heart. So the next one I'm going to do, I'm going to use the next hook size up and see what happens. First, I'm going to stop and take a drink and let Renee tell me if there are any questions I haven't answered that people have been asking.
None so far. We're just paying attention and enjoying.
Okie doke. All right, so let me pull out some more yarn here. Told you I can make a lot of hearts. Okay, let's do this one a little bit faster than the last one. And let's see, I'm going to chain 3. Kind of loosely. Go in, form that ring. It's a really tiny ring. It's hard to see. And then chain 3. Next time I'll show you a magic ring. Then 2 doubles in that ring. Where's the ring? Come on now. Sometimes you just have to let your fingers find the hole. There it is. When I trap that beginning yarn tail, at the bottom of the ring, at the bottom of these stitches. That just helps it stay more secure. So that's something I like to do. 3 half doubles. 1, 2, 3, and I may not be holding the yarn the way you're used to. However you are used to holding the yarn is absolutely fine. However you control it is what works for you. Then 3 more. Did I do that right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yep. It's nice to be able to read your work so you can count your stitches and see what you've done. I'm having to do that all the time, especially when I'm talking to you and doing this at the same time. I kind of lose track of where I am. 2 doubles. You see how fast these can go? You can make a whole bunch of these while you're watching 1 hour of whatever it is people are watching now. All right, chain 3, slip stitch, cut my yarn, pull the yarn tail through, and let's compare sizes. So that's the one I just did. Those look to be about the same size. Yeah, because this one started with a chain 3 and this one started with a chain 4. So you can see there can be a variation, and you could go up even another hook size. I don't have another one handy, but this was a K hook. I could try an L hook and see what happens, because it's still going to look fine. You just still have these almost like little candy hearts, if you will. Okay, so let me talk about some variations on this. One way that you could start, rather than doing that chain 3, is with what's called a magic ring. So I wrap the yarn around my finger like this, so that I have the yarn tail coming off here. And then I go into that ring and pull up a loop. And now I have, and then I do my chain 3. Now I can work into this adjustable ring right here. And when I finish, I will be able to pull my yarn tail. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but I'll be able to pull my yarn tail through. And Renee, I don't know if you have a video on adjust magic ring or not, but watch, I've just done a couple of stitches here, and you can see if I give a tug to that yarn tail, you see how that beginning ring tightens up. So you would put all your stitches into that magic ring and then pull the tail, and you would get a hole in the middle that's a little bit tighter. So that's one of the options that you can do. You could also try lots of different yarns. So I just have this one Super Saver that I'm using here, but I could try other yarns. So much thicker yarn. So you could have like giant chunky yarns. I don't actually have a giant, let's see. Do I have a giant chunky yarn that I could use? Do you mind green hearts? Can I make a green heart? Let's see what happens.
That'd be super cute.
Okay, so here's the green yarn. This is Peyton's, what's it called, Renee? You're gonna have to help me. Is it the roving? Is it wool roving or something like that?
Yeah, I think you're right. I'll drop it in the chat.
Yeah, I don't remember. And then let's see if I can find a biggish hook to use with it.
Classic wool roving.
Classic wool roving. So I'm going to use kind of a big hook here. And let's see what happens when we make a giant one. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, I don't have pink. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Then 2 doubles. By the way, this yarn wouldn't work so well using the magic ring because it's roving. You don't want to pull on it because it would just fall apart, because it's not twisted as much as applied yarn is. So you definitely want to use just a regular chain ring here, like I'm doing. 1, 2, 3. In my double. And by the way, this is easy to memorize too, so I'm not looking at the pattern anymore. I've just memorized it as I'm talking to you because I'm telling myself a story as I make it. And that is, I start with that first little bump, and then I work down the sides with my 3 half doubles. Then I work the point, which is a double. Now I'm working up the sides with my half double. Then I need to make 2 doubles for my last, what do you call the hump on the heart? The round part of the heart. You got to have names for these things. And then chain 3, slip stitch, and cut my yarn. Pull that yarn tail through. And there you can see, let's compare sizes. And it just looks different because it's the single ply kind of yarn rather than a plied yarn. So you can see you could do these in all sorts of different sizes with different kinds of yarn. I think it would be really fun with a fuzzy yarn, you know, like a pink kind of mohair fuzzy kind of yarn, or even some of those color changing yarns. If you had one that had long color changes and you use the whole ball, you would end up with hearts of all different sizes because it just takes a very few yards to make these. So another thing I can think of doing is using up all your scraps and putting it on a wreath. So just go buy one of those plain wreaths and tie on a bunch of little hearts for Valentine's Day. As a matter of fact, let's see, how many have I got started here? And I made these in practically no time. So like that would take what, an hour, 2 hours to make your Valentine's wreath, which I think I might be doing now that I have that idea. So what am I missing, Renee? What questions have people asked that I have not seen?
Okay, so there was a question about Kathy said they're super cute. She can see adding a green top and turning them into strawberries. Do you have a tip for adding a second color like that?
Oh, okay. Let's see. I'm trying to think what a strawberry would be. Let's take this one. And
I think even just a color change would be super helpful. I don't think
color
I've ever done
change.
one in the round.
Yeah, so a color change. I don't have any other green yarn handy.
Oh,
But
okay.
I'm even thinking, I'm trying to think what strawberries look like, but I'm even thinking you could just do something as simple as this. You know, you could have like that as a strawberry, especially if you made that tighter. And
Oh
you
yeah, I like
and,
that.
and you put little like took some embroidery thread and put little French knots on it, and that would look like a strawberry. Very clever idea. Who said that?
That was our friend Kathy. Great idea.
What a great idea. So do this and then just embroider with some embroidery thread little hearts. I don't know if this is what a strawberry top looks like. I can't remember. It's been so long since I've had a strawberry, but we could pretend. Maybe this even goes like that. Or you could crochet a little, you know, just like one little single crochet, like 3 single crochets and stitch it on. Another thing I wanted to show you was if you didn't want to tie the knot, like I was showing you, you could also just weave in your ends. So I've already caught this one underneath that beginning round, but I always like to go back in a couple of different directions. So that's now nicely woven in. And then I would take this one and I do the same thing, just weave it in a couple of different directions so it doesn't come undone. So maybe under these stitches, there are not that many stitches to work under because it's just one round. If you were going to add another round to this, maybe with a different color, you're going to have to think about how you're going to do that because you ended up with the yarn down here. So if you were trying to do another round, you're going to have to work here, but then you're going to have to increase a lot around here and around here. and down here at the bottom. So depending on the height of the stitch, if you were adding, because I see Christine would like to see a heart with another row, you'd have to add another round, but you would have to increase a lot in this area, and you would have to increase down here as well. And then it goes straight up like this. Okay. I see, what is a carabiner stitch marker for? Is that something that's called for in the pattern? I'm not seeing a stitch marker called for in the pattern, so I'm not sure what Stacy's question, oh, classified. That may be something left over from a previous class or something. Do you, Renee, do you know about that?
I'm just pulling it up right now. I think we just called for general stitch markers, the ones that I have personally. They kind of look like a safety pin. That might be what she means, but
Right.
I think they're helpful for in the round just to kind of mark your spot, but any stitch marker will probably work. A bobby pin will probably work.
Right. And so the carabiner, the one she's talking about, or the one you're talking about, I can pull one of those out, are, they look like this kind of, but you don't really need a stitch marker for this pattern because there's only the one round. So, you know, you're not having to really mark the beginning and end. It's really easy to see where it is. Somebody did say, is my needle curved? This tapestry needle is curved. I find that right at the tip. I find that makes it easier to get into under the stitches, but it can be absolutely flat too. The thing you don't want is you don't want a pointy tip. You want to be going under the stitches rather than through the stitches if you can. Okay. And Robin says, can you go over how to finish? All I did when I finished, it says to tie the ends together. So I just took the two ends, the beginning end and the ending end. Is that a thing? And tied a square knot, and then cut them off. But you can also weave in the ends if you want to. I have a video about weaving in ends. And Renee, if you don't have one, I can find that one, or maybe you can find it, about weaving in ends if you want to know how to do that.
Perfect. I'll track it down.
And let's see, Kate says, do a super slow one for total newbies. So I think, Kate, probably the best thing to do would be to go back and watch the video and stop it. When I did a fairly slow one with the second heart that I did, and maybe going back and following that, but stopping the video when you need it to stop so you can catch up. I think that's probably going to be the best thing for you to do, because it's really hard to do these in absolute and in absolute slow enough time for a total newbie. Okay. Let's see. Can I
So
do
I had
one?
an earlier question about the point of the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just pull it up. Michelle said, can't quite get the point of the heart, not sure of the center. It seems like, so maybe it's skewing a little bit in one direction or the other.
Right. So that double crochet, the double crochet that you're doing right here. So you had the 3 half doubles, then you had the double crochet. So that's the point of the heart. If it's coming off sideways, then you want to scoot your stitches around that ring. You want to scoot them around till that point ends up at the bottom. So all of these stitches, if you've worked into the ring instead of into a chain, these are actually adjustable around. Like there's not a lot of space, but I can move them around that ring and try to scoot it around to where it needs to be. So hopefully and make sure you're making it a double crochet. You could try making it a triple crochet and see if that helps. That might help too. Okay, what else, Renee? Have I missed anything? Hello? Renee, can you hear me?
Oh, goodness. I just realized I was on mute.
Okay, well, I was like, I don't know whether it's me or whether it's you.
Perfect. Okay, so Pauline said, how would you make a garland with them? How many stitches would you suggest between each heart? Thanks for the
So
great sizes with the different hooks.
yes, so that is a great idea, also another great idea. And I think my answer is going to be pretty much the same as it is whenever anybody asks me a question like that. And that is, I'd have to try it and see. So for instance, I might take, let me do this. I might just start crocheting a chain. Let me get a chain. I might just start saying, okay, I'm going to put it on a simple chain. And I want some extra space, you know, the tying part. And then I might go, all right, I'm going to attach it here with a slip stitch and then do 1, 2, I don't know, 3 maybe, put a slip stitch here. Am I happy with the way that looks? That looks okay. Then I'm going to do some more, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know. I'm just making this up. It's so easy to change. Put a slip stitch here, put 3 between them. 1, 2, 3. Try this here. And then just say, am I happy with that? Do I like the way that looks? I think that 3 stitches between there is too much. I don't like the way that's looking. So maybe I'm just going to go back and say, maybe that needed to be 2, or maybe that's not where I want to join it. Maybe what I want to do is, what if I do a treble crochet in the center? Let's see what that looks like. 2, 3. Maybe I like the way it looks. No, I don't like that much either. But can you see what I'm doing? I'm just trying different things to get the look I want. So I can't tell you how many because I don't know what I want, what you want your garland to look like. Let's see what happens if I do this. If I join in the center and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Join in the center with a slip stitch. Let's do 12 more and see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 5, I can't count. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so I kind of like the way that's looking. What do you think? Or I could do this with a different color. I just don't have other colors with me. So I kind of like the way that's looking. So that was 12 stitches in between. You might want more. You might want to not have the same number every time, especially if you're using different size hearts. So you might have, you know, they might be closer together or further apart, or you might have tiny ones with big ones or whatever. So that's what I do for a garland. And hey, that looks pretty cute too. Y'all have given me lots of ideas. So far, I have a strawberry, I have a wreath, and I have a garland. I'm going to have to make a lot more hearts between now and what, 4 days, 5 days from now.
Yeah, this is what I love about this pattern is it's so great for almost any type of project. And we love the creativity and seeing all the things that people do with them.
Yeah, this is awesome.
So we're getting some questions about the center coming out too loose. Is that just a matter of like tightening the circle once you're done?
It's hard to imagine that the center would be too loose. Are you using a magic ring when you're doing that? Or are you using the chain 3 or the chain 4? And if it depends on the kind of center you're using. So if you are using the chain 3, I can't even imagine how it would be too loose. That's hard for me to diagnose without looking at it.
Yeah,
Make sure that you have really closed your ring and that you're not working into a stitch that you've really opened out. make sure that you really are working into that chain ring rather than into a stitch. And if you did happen to work into a stitch, see if there's a yarn tail that you can pull on there that will tighten up that center ring. Lacking everything else, you can always take a tapestry needle, take your beginning tail and run it under those stitches and pull it tight, and that'll tighten up that ring right away. So that's definitely that's definitely a way you can make that beginning ring tighter if you want.
For sure. There's a few different ways, which is
Yes.
nice. Be the boss of your own crochet, as Edie says.
That's right. She's quoting me now.
We'll put it on a poster.
Right.
We got some great ideas for garland, maybe changing colors to string them together to keep the form of the heart intact. Love that. Okay. Oh, what about making a heart with triple crochets and double crochets instead of double and half double?
Right. So you can certainly do that. The trick is you're going to probably need to have more stitches than what I showed you, because this allows for the heart, the way it's written now, it allows for the heart to lie flat. But as you get taller stitches, you need more stitches in order for it to lie flat. So if you're going to use doubles and trebles, you're going to need more stitches around for it to lie flat. Try it and see what I mean. If you do it just like this and substitute, you're going to find out it probably is going to cup up like this. And that's not what you're looking for. You'll need more stitches. So I do have some options. I'm going to mention mine. I myself have a pattern for hearts in 3 different sizes, and I can't remember what I did, but I have, if you check my YouTube channel, you can try that. Oh, look, Renee put in a strawberry pattern. So now I can't wait to look at that.
Sorry, Edie, I was distracted while I was getting that link. What was the thing that you mentioned that you have, the hearts?
My hearts in 3 sizes. I have a YouTube video on making hearts in 3 sizes. So they're also little hearts. The pattern is slightly different. They take a little longer than this one to do. I'm actually pretty enamored of this pattern because it's so fast. But if you're looking to use other types of stitches, you can look at that one too. So, and I see questions about the magic ring. I think that sounds like its own project, Renee. So maybe tell the people at Yarn Inspirations we want to concentrate on magic ring sometime.
Yeah, that's great. That would be like a great class even on its own.
Yeah. Thank you for putting that.
Okay.
Okay, Jan said hers didn't cup with doubles and trebles. So great, try that. If it does cup, you need more stitches.
All right. Well, that is everything I have for questions. Maybe we'll give it another minute if anyone has any other questions. In the meantime, or even just brainstorming what you could use these hearts for, or what colors you would put them in. We would love to hear your suggestions. I had this idea of like making a bunch of these and then just sewing them onto a sweater. I feel like that would be really cute. If you're like, have like a work holiday party or something, like, you know, Valentine's Day work initiative.
I keep thinking of them. When I saw the picture on the promo picture that had them in different colors, they look like little candies to me. And I like the idea of like putting a bunch of different ones in a candy jar or a bowl or something, because, you know, what we really want are the Valentine's Day candy, but maybe this is like a locale way to think we have candy.
I love that. Or if they were a little bit bigger, also like embroidering like a little sassy message, because the candy hearts always have like a cute little call me.
Right. So there's so many things we can do with hearts. I have a lot of heart patterns, like heart hats, and this is my sweetheart shawl. It's in the shape of a heart almost. I think it's such a fun shape and a fun motif to put on things that this is a good time of year to do it. Doesn't have to be Valentine's Day, but we do tend to see a lot of hearts on Valentine's Day, around Valentine's Day.
For sure. Cheryl says rainbow self-striping sock weight is turning out great as hearts.
Great, great. I would love to see what everybody does. And please put it on your social media and tag it. Renee, tell us what the tags are we want them to use so I can see those hearts.
Perfect. So as Felicia mentioned a little bit earlier, Michaels has a few different hashtags, one of them being hashtag make it with Michaels. On our side, so we can see it, it's hashtag yarnspo, or you can tag us, you can tag Michaels, you can tag Edie. Yeah, and I can give all of those at the end as well.
Yeah. And I'm Edie Eckman everywhere. So Instagram, Facebook, whatever, you just find me as Edie Eckman. So yeah. Okay.
Awesome. All right. Okay. Thank you everyone so much for joining us. As we said, don't forget to share your work with hashtag make it with Michaels and hashtag yarnspo. It's like inspo, but yarn spelled YARNSPO, and tag us Yarnspirations, tag Michaels, tag Edie Eckman everywhere. And just a reminder that you can find more classes on michaels.com and a recording of today's class at the Michaels YouTube channel. So you can rewatch it and pause and rewind and do all of those things. And that's it for us. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.